wanted to slow down. Oop, I just realized my camera wasn't on. I hope you guys see me now. Um, hey, still getting it. Still make mistakes here now and then, but doing it with grace. So, like I said, I'm grateful to be here with you guys another Wednesday. And one of the things that I noticed I kept talking about was something that I was diagnosed with a few years ago, which is PCOS. And so I really shared with you guys how I have it and just what I've been doing to just, make the best of it because it's something that doesn't go away. Unfortunately, there's no cure for it. And by just being vulnerable with you guys and sharing a little bit of my story, I started to notice more people, my peers, my friends started to tell me that they also have PCOS. So I was like, why not do an episode of it and really help the girlies out there that are new to the diagnosis of PCOS or or have it and just struggle with it. So I really want to go over today, like really dig deep into like the definition, what PCOS is, how it affects your body, and then ways that we can actually help treat it or just maintain it. So, being the girl that I am, I love to break down what the definition of things are. So, what is PCOS? So, PCOS stands for polycystic ovary syndrome, and it is a hormonal disorder that can occur in menstruators. So, you may have PCOS if you qualify for any of the two of the following three diagnostic criteria that I'm going to go over. So, having irregular periods, I talked about that in a previous episode, how my periods have always been irregular since I've had them. When I was younger and very more active in sports, the doctors would just say, oh, it's normal. Some people have irregular periods when you're playing sports very intensely, very vigorously. And I was an athlete for most of my life um, until the end of college. So, really, until the end of 2017, only 8 years ago is when I stopped playing sports on a high level. So, I thought that was normal to just have irregular periods. But come to find out, when I stopped playing sports, 3, 4 years after I stopped playing, I still was having irregular periods. And my mom was like, this is not normal. You need to go see why. And that's how I was diagnosed with PCOS when I went to the doctor. So your periods will be considered irregular if you do not have a fixed period cycle. So even to this day, I don't have a fixed period cycle. I just pray that it comes regularly. It's better now, but it still is not regular all the time. So hopefully that's not too much TMI for the boys or the men watching. But women, girlies, you get it. I know you do. Another thing is you may have PCOS if you are having excess androgens. So this is the symptoms of excess masculinizing hormones, which include acne, excessive body hair growth, especially on the chin. So all right here, your girl has to constantly wax or clip or what's those things called? Um I don't know why it just slipped my head, but the thing tweezers, yes, tweezers. Because you're gonna get, unfortunately, like I said, hair growth, especially on the chin or face or upper part of the body, and hair loss. So I get a lot of right here that I constantly have to, unfortunately deal with. And that's just part of it, having PCOS. And also having cysts on your ovaries. Um, the doctor will perform an ultrasound to check if you have cysts on your ovaries. That's how I discovered I had PCOS. I went in, told them I'm having irregular periods. They did an ultrasound. They discovered cysts on my ovaries. And this is how I was diagnosed. So, apart from like these criterias that I mentioned, other PCOS symptoms can include fatigue, bloating. I get bloated a lot. Feeling moody, anxious, or depressed. Dark, velvety patches on the neck. Thank God I don't get that, but people do get that. And difficulty in losing weight. My weight does fluctuate a lot. It's been better over, I'd say, the last year, but it's always fluctuated ever since I was in high school, or even maybe before that, but that I can remember from high school leading on to now, me being almost 32 years old. So uh, it's just always been like that, and it can be discouraging at sometimes, but you just have to do the best you can. And I encourage you to, if you haven't, get a nutritionist or somebody that can just help you eat better, know what you're putting to your body, because that also helps PCOS. So I want to go over what is bloating as well, because this is like a symptom that I get, like I said, frequently. And some people get it like even when you're on your period. I know uh, when I'm on my period, I don't get cramps. I'm just very bloated. So, bloating means when your gut gets filled with air or gas. So, you may experience the following symptoms during bloating, such as belly pain, feeling full easily, tightness in the belly, or a little belly bulge. So, for me, yeah, I get the belly bulge, unfortunately, and then I just feel very like uncomfortable, like my belly is just full. And I haven't had kids, but I feel like I feel like a baby's in my stomach. It just feels so like bloated and full, and it just looks like I'm low key pregnant at times, and it's just not cool, not fun, but once again, this is what we go through as PCOS women, and uh, just so you know, it's not always fun. And so I want to go over too how PCOS and bloating are related. So PCOS and bloating and gas are interrelated, because inflammation and stress in the body ultimately become key contributors to PCOS. So, the various symptoms of inflammation and stress are bloating, migraines, constipation or diarrhea, indigestion, rapid weight fluctuations that I stated, acne, brain fog, thinning of hair, um, IBS if you haven't had it before, and irregular periods. So, various reasons are contributing to inflammation and stress in the body that can cause PCOS bloating. And, I never like to, as y'all know, if y'all watched the podcast before, I never like to mention like diet, that word. I just feel like it's such a broad statement. So I just like to say healthy lifestyle, but go with whatever you like. But your diet or your healthy lifestyle can be a reason behind your poor gut health and stomach pain after eating, and PCOS, abdominal bloating. So um some of the foods that can cause an imbalance between healthy and unhealthy bacteria in the gut are like dairy foods and beverages, foods containing gluten, foods high in sugar, or unhealthy bacteria that can increase the production of gases, like ultimately that's causing PCOS and stomach bloating. Like poor gut health causes inflammation in the body, which can become a contributing factor to PCOS. So, not all of the uh, foods that I mentioned need to be triggers for bloating in people with PCOS, because it will vary from person to person, depending on the various factors that that person may have. But other, diet related triggers for bloating include like too many processed foods. So if you're a person that's eating a lot of processed foods, this can also contribute to why your PCOS is so bad. Having a low fiber diet. So you want to try to find things that have a lot of fiber in them. Or if you are have a high fat intake. So I always say it's good to eat carbs. Like carbs aren't necessarily bad, but excessively, if you're eating a lot of like carbs excessively, that can be bad overall, not just for PCOS, just but for your overall health. Um, but I don't do this since I have PCOS, but I have taken medication. But so everybody's different, but if you do have PCOS, PCOS medication may be best for you. It doesn't work for me. I don't like how it made me feel. I don't like how I gained weight on it. So some PCOS medications, such as like metformin or birth control pills, that's what I was on. Birth control pills, not a fan. So, like I said, if you are a girl that has PCOS, try it out if you want to, but was not a fan for me. But they can be extremely helpful in managing PCOS, but they may also lead to bloating in some people. So that's, like I said, that's for me. It was just gaining weight, feeling not good, but it can help with slow metabolism. So if you have a slower metabolism due to a lack of exercise or thyroid abnormalities, your gut can also take time to process food and cause bloating. So, inadequate sleep is also a big one. I talk about getting enough sleep is great for you, period. But also, a lack of sleep can raise your cortisol, um, which is your stress hormone that can affect your gut health, resulting in bloating and constipation. So, for me too, even now, I'm not big on eating in the morning. Like I usually would do intermediate fasting up until like noon. But when I got a nutritionist, she was telling me that she wants me to eat more in the morning. Preferably, it doesn't even have to be big, but just like boiled eggs or some yogurt to have something in my system like 30 minutes to 60 minutes after I wake up to regulate my cortisol levels. And that will also help with my PCOS. So, see, I'm learning as I go and I'm teaching you guys too. So, uh, will all people with PCOS have bloating though? No, not all people with PCOS will experience bloating. Even those who get bloating, like me, may not have it for the entire duration of the menstrual cycle. But unfortunately, I do usually, but it may only occur sometimes during a specific period of the cycle. Also, it may not be a persistent problem throughout uh, your PCOS journey. I just know for me, I do get bloated a lot, unfortunately. Um, so I do try to eat, uh, gluten free or gluten food. Stay, I like dairy. I ain't gonna lie. I love my cheese and stuff, but I try to limit my dairy products and my sugar intake because that causes inflammation. And like I said, I'm elevating my cortisol levels, and that's helping me not be as bloated. But if you do like to consume like these foods, like processed foods and stuff, just try eliminating all of them from your diet, or one at a time. Then after a while, try adding them back one by one to identify like the real trigger behind why you are feeling bloated all the time. And then you don't need to completely stop the foods that are not like suiting you. I always just say, try to identify them. So once you identify them, then you can reduce, their consumption, to avoid that inflammation and, other symptoms. Because most things in life is all about moderation. It's never about necessarily like taking things out of your diet or your lifestyle completely, but it's about just really having that restriction and that discipline to just know when it's a little bit too excessive and you need to tone it down a little bit. And like I stated before, you need to consume more fiber. Add lots of fiber-rich foods to your diet to ensure a healthy digestive system, and you know to just normal out the hormones and get rid of those toxins out of your body. All whole grains, vegetables, fruits are good sources of fiber. And you can also add natural probiotics to your diet. This is something I'm also working on and trying to get better at, because I don't get a lot of probiotics into my body that I as I should. So probiotic foods provide, healthy bacteria in the gut to improve the digestive system and reduce symptoms of bloating. So um, I see a lot of people like the kombucha, like that drink, or fermented foods or homemade yogurt are some natural probiotics that you can consume. So the kombucha is some of the stuff that I've been drinking to get probiotics more into my body. And then you can even have a probiotic supplement as well if needed. I know a lot of people like to do the supplements instead of the drinks, but it's whatever works for you. And I stated before to cut down that sugar intake because that's also going to help with PCOS. So even like I mentioned before, sugar in various forms can cause gas and bloating. So you're gonna want to cut down on the amount of sugar, uh, artificial sweeteners, and processed foods that you have throughout your day. And I think the key thing too is planning a sustainable lifestyle. So, adopting a healthy lifestyle can help you manage various PCOS symptoms and incorporate sustainable lifestyle changes that you can follow consistently. And that's where I'm at currently on my journey. I just want to become the healthiest, best version of myself to live a long, healthy, fulfilled life. And That's just very important to me, and that's why I'm so passionate about each and every subject that I bring to you guys, because I know there's other people out there that struggle with some of these things or just want to become the healthiest version of themselves as well. So this is why I love doing this stuff. And another key thing that I'm always going to stress that is also very helpful with PCOS is exercise, right? So, exercise for around 30 minutes a day is ideal for a healthy gut, just in general. So, it will help your digestion, speed up your gut metabolism, and restore the healthy bacteria balance in your gut. So, all of this will manage your bloating symptoms. And as a beginner, if you are new to this, you can start with general exercises such as walking. Never sleep on walking. I know my girl Tennille was just walking the other day and was telling and encouraging everybody to just get outside, move your body. There's nothing wrong with that. And cycling is also a big thing. I also love to cycle. Strength training that I talked with you guys is also a huge important factor. Um, if you want to do yoga, Pilates, or swimming, because slowly as you build confidence, you can amp up your workouts, and that's going to be key for managing PCOS. And I'm just gonna reiterate this one more time because I don't take this for granted, and I know there's still a lot of y'all that do. The importance to sleep. When it comes to sleep, there are three important rules to follow. So number one, the time you go to sleep, the time you go to bed. Go to bed at a specific time every day, preferably early. If you are uh let's say a night owl, well, I don't know what to tell you night owls, to be honest. I mean, work on going to bed earlier. That's what I'm gonna tell y'all. Work on going to bed an hour earlier if you're a night owl. But if you work second or third shift, that's also gonna play a factor. So maybe just keep that in mind, knowing that if you're working those hours, have your routine ready as soon as you come home from work so that you can get right to sleep. Number two is going to be the number of hours you sleep. This is also very important. Deep sleep cycles are crucial. So you must get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep every day. Like now, the older I get, it's like it's non negotiable. I at least got to get 7 hours of sleep, or it's just, it ain't gonna be good. Like it's just, I gotta get at least, I say at least six, but I'm always going for 7 to 8. And the third one is the quality of your sleep. Make sure to sleep in a clean space and don't use your screens before sleeping. Put that phone away, turn that TV off, and just put things away and go to sleep. And I also recommend, if you are a PCOS woman or girly, get a thyroid hormone test done. I've done this before as well, because if you experience um, either constipation and sensitivity to cold, go for a thyroid hormone test, because it is to ensure that the thyroid is not the reason behind your low metabolism. And I also say talk to your doctor about PCOS medications. Like I said, it wasn't for me, but it may work for you. PCOS medications such as birth control pills or metformin that I mentioned before can cause bloating too as well. So that way, I think you should consult your doctor for alternatives. Um, And the last thing I want to go over, before we wrap this up, is people with PCOS can be also experiencing irritable bowel syndrome, which also stands for IBS. So, when it comes to IBS, many people may have IBS, an intestinal disorder that shows inconsistent patterns of diarrhea, constipation, and bloating. So they get a PCOS belly bloat. So you may want to consider um, a low FOD MAP diet, they say. And to explain what that is, a FOD MAP or FOD MAP represents fermental. I can't even pronounce a lot of these names, but bear with me. It's fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols. And these are certain types of carbohydrates. For those having IBS, FODMAPs are poorly absorbed by their gut and is also the reason behind bloating. So having a low FODMAP diet can significantly reduce their PCOS bloated stomach. So following a low FODMAP diet, here I want to give you guys a list of foods that you must avoid or reduce. So gluten, dairy, onion, garlic, sugar, fruit juices, high fructose corn syrup or artificial sweetener products. Um, and you can benefit from this diet and reduce bloating and other IBS symptoms. However, um, you don't need to adopt this diet for a lifetime, but you can slowly add these foods back into your diet one by one and identify like the triggers to avoid them later on that I explained earlier. So, all this to say that if you are a woman with PCOS or girly with PCOS, please just go back to this episode, watch it, take notes, and really start incorporating these things in your lifestyle that can help you maintain and just live a healthier lifestyle because that's what it's all about in the end. And I hope you guys got value from this. And I will continue to provide value to you guys each and every week. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday and an even better week. I'll catch you guys right back here next Wednesday. Peace, love, and blessings as always. And God bless you guys.